Help me hit 7,000 subscribers. Support the video with a like and share your thoughts in the comments. I read everyone. Thank you. My name is Alden Pierce, and for most of my 30s, I thought I understood who my wife was. I thought marriage was supposed to be a quiet, steady thing, built on shared routines, private jokes, the kind of comfort you don't brag about because it simply exists. I never imagined I'd be standing in the lobby of her office building, listening to her coworkers refer to me as something I didn't even recognize. But before everything shattered, it started small. My wife, Marin, had always been different, charming in a soft, unusual way. She wasn't loud, wasn't flashy, but she had this subtle magnetism that made people lean closer when she spoke. When we got married, I liked that she wasn't like everyone else. I liked that she valued privacy, calm, boundaries. I didn't realize until later that she hid behind those things too. A few months back, I noticed she'd started going out with her coworkers more often. Mostly two of them, Talia and Rowan. Whenever she talked about them, she always described them as the only sane people in the office, or the ones who get me. At first, I didn't think much of it. Everyone needs connection outside the marriage. I encouraged it. Then the inside jokes started. The new group chats. The muted notifications on her phone whenever they texted. The long silences where she'd sit on the couch staring at messages but tilt the screen away from me. Not aggressively, just subtly enough to make me question whether I imagined it. I didn't bring it up. Married people should have space, right? I kept telling myself that. The moment everything flipped was painfully ordinary. Marin had forgotten her laptop, and she asked me if I could drop it off at her office. I was already out running errands, so I said sure. When I got there, the receptionist pointed me toward their break room. I heard them before I reached the door. 3 voices. Laughing, someone opening a bag of chips. Then I heard Rowan ask, "So, your husband, what's that actually like? You two seem unconventional." And Marin laughed. Not the laugh she gave me. A different one, lighter, freer, almost relieved. "Oh, Alden, we're basically in a lavender marriage," she said. "Everyone thinks it's romantic, but he's pretty much just my roommate." My heart didn't drop. It didn't shatter. It froze. A silent, heavy kind of stillness. I stood outside that doorway hearing my wife rewrite our entire relationship like it was a quirky anecdote. Talia chimed in. "Honestly, that explains so much. You two give off platonic energy." Marin giggled again. "Exactly. It's easier than explaining the truth." They didn't ask her what the truth was. They didn't need to. She liked the vague mystery of it. She liked the identity it gave her. Something interesting to say, a dramatic secret with no cost to her because the cost landed entirely on me. I walked in before they could keep talking. They all went silent, the way people do when the joke was about the person who just entered. Marin's face drained of color, and she said, "Oh, Alden, you're early." I placed the laptop on the counter. "Didn't want you to fall behind," I said, keeping my voice steady. None of the 3 looked at me. None of them apologized. And Marin didn't say a single word to correct what she'd said. On the drive home, something quietly snapped inside me. Not a burst of anger, not heartbreak, just a clean internal shift, a recognition. If my wife viewed me as a convenient character she could edit depending on her audience, then maybe she no longer deserved to be part of my story in the first place. That night, I didn't confront her. I didn't ask questions. I didn't demand explanations she would twist into something reasonable. Instead, I contacted a lawyer, explained the situation, and was surprised at how calm my voice sounded when I said, "I want to file for divorce." My lawyer asked if there was abuse, infidelity, neglect. I said no. The truth was worse in a quieter way. Erasure. She erased the meaning of our marriage to make herself look more interesting. When the paperwork was ready, I served her the next afternoon. She came home carrying a tote bag covered in enamel pins. One of those small things about her I used to find charming. She saw the envelope on the table and frowned. "What's this?" When she opened it, her breath caught. For a moment, she didn't speak at all. Then she whispered, "Alden, what is this?" "Exactly what it looks like." Her face twisted. confusion sinking into something sharper. You're divorcing me? Over what? I didn't answer yet, because watching her lose her mind had only just begun. For a moment, Marin just stood there holding the papers as if they might burn her fingers. Her eyes darted across the pages, scanning them again and again, like she hoped she'd find a hidden joke somewhere in the legal language. When her gaze finally snapped back to me, it was sharp enough to cut. "Alden, what the hell is this supposed to mean?" she demanded. "You know exactly what it means," I said. My voice stayed steady, which only made her angrier. No, I don't. You don't just file for divorce without talking to me. Without anything. I let out a breath. You introduced me to people as your roommate. You told them we were in a lavender marriage. Her face flushed instantly, a fast, bright embarrassment. You heard that? Yes. Her jaw tightened as she set the papers down, pressing one hand to her forehead. Alden, that was just a joke. It wasn't literal. You're blowing this out of proportion. I almost laughed. Not because it was funny, but because the sentence was so familiar. Every person who crosses a line uses the same script. It didn't sound like a joke, Marin. You said it because you liked how it made you look. Because it gave you a story to tell. It wasn't like that, she snapped. You don't understand the dynamics at work. People talk. They assume things. I just said it to keep the peace. You kept the peace for them, I said quietly. Not for me. Marin began pacing, her hair swinging over her shoulder like a metronome ticking out her rising panic. You're being dramatic. Why didn't you just ask me about it? Why jump to this? I met her eyes. Because you didn't defend me. Not even once. That hit her. I saw it land. Her expression faltered, just for a second, before pride patched itself back over the crack. So you're throwing away 8 years of marriage over a misunderstanding? She said bitterly. I didn't respond. The silence made her frantic. Alden, please, stop pretending you're calm. This is insane. What's insane? I replied. Is realizing the person you've built a life with doesn't claim you when it actually matters. She froze. That sentence took the last bit of wind out of her. Her shoulders lowered, her voice softening for the first time. I didn't mean to hurt you, she whispered. I know, I said. That's the problem. You didn't think about me at all. Marin sank into the chair, burying her face in her hands. It was strange, seeing the woman I'd loved fold in on herself like that. Not because she regretted what she said, but because she regretted the consequences. After a long stretch of silence, she spoke again, her voice fragile. Can't you at least talk to me before doing something this final? I'm talking now, I said. She lifted her head, eyes glossy with a frustration that wasn't quite sadness. I didn't know that mattered so much to you. It mattered because you meant it, I said. Maybe not in the exact words, but in the way you said them. You were comfortable erasing me, comfortable turning our marriage into a punchline. She wiped her cheek impatiently. I wasn't erasing you. God. Alden, you're twisting everything. No, I said gently. I'm finally seeing everything clearly. Something in her expression broke then. Not visibly, but internally, like a structure losing its foundation. She clutched the divorce papers again, as if gripping them could stop the process. Please, she said, voice trembling now. Let's go to counseling, or talk to someone. Anything. Don't just end this over one mistake. I'm not ending this over one mistake, I said. I'm ending it because that moment showed me the truth. We're not partners in your mind. I'm a prop you can rearrange depending on who's watching. Her breath hitched. I never wanted this. But you created it, I replied. Marin stood up, pacing again, running her fingers along the back of the couch, like she needed something physical to hold on to. Everyone exaggerates at work, she muttered. Everyone performs a little. Why are you acting like this is some betrayal? Because it was, I said simply. She stopped pacing. For the first time, she didn't have a comeback ready. Her lips parted like she might try again, then closed. Her eyes drifted to the papers, and fear flashed across her face. Real, unfiltered fear. "What am I supposed to tell people?" she whispered. "That's up to you," I said. "Just don't rewrite me again." Marin shook her head, tears finally gathering. "I didn't think you'd ever leave." "I know," I said. "That's why I have to." And with that, I picked up my jacket from the hook near the door. She took a small step forward, like she meant to stop me, but her hand didn't reach out. "Alden," she called softly. "Please." I paused for a moment, looking at the woman who had once been my safest place and later became a stranger wearing her face. "You wanted me to be the background character in your life," I said. "But I'm done living in the margins." When I closed the door behind me, I didn't feel victorious. I didn't feel angry. I just felt free. The kind of freedom that comes when you finally stop asking someone to value you and start valuing yourself. And as I walked away from the house we shared, I realized something simple. She only lost her mind because she never expected consequences. I didn't owe her a performance. I owed myself the truth. And for the first time in a long time, I finally chose it.